Today, I will show you an action thriller from 2026 titled The Wrecking Crew. Set your belt, because this one hits hard. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. We opened during Chinese New Year celebrations in the middle of a crowded Chinatown. A private detective named Walter is walking through the streets, looking nervous and tense. He keeps checking all around him. He quietly drops a small package into a mailbox, sighs in relief, steals a jacket from a nearby stall, and keeps walking toward the main road. Suddenly, a van speeds in out of nowhere, slams into him, and drives off, leaving him dead on the street. Meanwhile, in Hawaii, a Navy commander named James is training his unit, pushing them hard during drills when he suddenly gets an urgent call. He rushes to the morgue, where he is informed that his father, Walter, has died in what appears to be a hit-and-run case. James returns home to his wife Isla and his two kids, Kai and Lonnie. He casually tells her that his father passed away, showing almost no emotion since they had been estranged for years. Isla feels sorry for him and suggests he should at least call his stepbrother Johnny. But James says Johnny never answers, and that none of them really had a relationship with their father anyway. At the same time, Johnny, a hot-headed cop, is riding his motorcycle back home, only to find his girlfriend Valentina packing her bags. She tells him she's done with the relationship because he never cares about her. It's her birthday, and he completely forgot. Johnny apologizes, but it's too late. She leaves him alone. That night, Johnny drinks himself numb when he suddenly gets a call from Isla, informing him about Walter's death and the funeral date. Johnny doesn't care and says he won't come. Later, while using the restroom, two men sneak up behind him holding a dagger. They reveal Yakuza tattoos and demand a package Walter sent. Johnny says he has no idea what they're talking about and snaps. Already having a terrible day, a brutal fight breaks out. Johnny beats them down one by one. Another man pulls a gun, but Johnny dodges the shots, uses one attacker as a shield, and smashes the shooter across the room. When one of them drops a photo of Johnny's mother, he loses control and kills him violently. Inside the picture, he finds a hidden photo of Walter. The day of the funeral arrives. James's sister Hanani attends, and James notices two criminal groups watching from a distance, the Syndicate and the Yakuza. Clearly, Walter had deeper connections than anyone knew. Hanani asks about Johnny, but James says he won't show up. Moments later, Johnny arrives anyway, meeting James's kids for the first time. The brothers immediately clash, trading sharp insults and old resentment. The funeral ends, and Walter's ashes are taken away. They all return to James's house, where tension rises. The truth comes out. Walter cheated on James's mother and had Johnny, tearing the family apart. James refuses to relive it. During lunch, the city governor, Peter Mayhew, a family friend, joins them. He talks about unity and the past, saying Walter would have wanted them together. Johnny suddenly says he didn't come for the funeral, but to find out who killed Walter. Everyone is shocked, and the kids are sent upstairs. Johnny explains how men tried to kill him the night before. James snaps, accusing him of always bringing chaos. Johnny adds that he believes his own mother was murdered too, silencing the room. James pulls him outside, warning him again that Walter's death was just an accident. Johnny walks away, furious. Later, Johnny drinks at a bar, where he runs into his old friend Aokai, who now works for the Syndicate. He says their boss, Mr. K, wants to meet Johnny. Johnny refuses, but his drink is drugged, and he blacks out. He wakes up tied down with Mr. K and his men. They remind him of their violent past and warn him to stop hunting them down. Mr. K gives him 7 days to leave Hawaii, then burns a mark into his body and dumps him on the beach. Meanwhile, James meets Detective Renner, who says Walter's accident has no witnesses, no forensics, and no working cameras. James finds it suspicious. Renner warns him not to dig deeper, calling it poking a bear. James replies that he is the bear. James checks Walter's belongings, finding a flash drive and a cryptic note. At the same time, Johnny breaks into Walter's old house, finds a gun, and catches a man snooping around. After a chase, Johnny captures him. The man, Pika, says Walter was like a father to him and that he worked as his hacker. Walter's last job was getting him hired at a catering company called New Aloha. Johnny decides Pika now works for him. James inspects the crash site, notices a hidden adult store camera, tries bribing the staff, but but gets kicked out and resorts to force. Back at the house, Johnny finds a surfboard and discovers blueprints hidden inside, marked with a government seal. Meanwhile, Maho hosts a campaign party by the beach. Hanani receives a call from Johnny about the plans and mentions an access code before hanging up. Johnny studies the blueprints, realizing they involve demolishing schools and residential areas. Just as Pika leaves for the clinic, James suddenly breaks into Walter's house and confronts Johnny, confirming that both brothers are now chasing the same truth. Asterisk we pick up as James brings in the footage they managed to retrieve, and the brothers watch the video of Walter's death frame by frame. The blue van has no license plate, and it doesn't slow down even for a second. It's clear now this wasn't an accident. It was a clean, deliberate hit. Johnny says they now need everything. Any blue van in the city and whatever Pika can dig up from the catering company he works for. Pika leaves to do just that, and the brothers look around the tiny room Walter lived in, wondering how a man like him ended up here. They leave in the car, trying to connect all the pieces. James still thinks it could all lead to nothing, but Johnny isn't buying it. The argument heats up when suddenly another car slams into them from the side. Gunfire erupts immediately. James floors the accelerator while Johnny pulls his gun and fires back, but the enemy vehicle has bulletproof glass. James grabs his own gun and takes one attacker out. Johnny kicks the door open, rolls onto the street, and takes cover as bullets tear through the air. James somehow climbs onto the car and jumps onto the attacker's vehicle while they keep firing. Johnny yells for him to jump and shoots the gas tank. Both cars erupt into flames, and James barely makes it out alive. Later, Detective Renner sits them down, furious about the chaos they caused. He reveals it was the Yakuza behind the attack and drops another bombshell. Johnny isn't even a cop anymore. He was suspended 2 months ago. James hands over the flash drive. Renner warns them again and walks away. That night, Hanani shares what she uncovered. The blueprints belong to a North Side development funded by the Robichaux firm, owned by Marcus Robichaux, who controls most of the land there. They suspect Walter was working for him. Johnny doesn't see the issue until James explains it's not an apartment, but a casino. Gambling is illegal here. Hanani adds that Robichaux is hosting his annual art museum fundraiser the next day. The following morning, Johnny admires James's massive bike, but James shuts him down, instead handing him their father's old motorcycle. They ride together to the land marked on the blueprint, an ancient Hawaiian village that's been there for over 1,000 years. Johnny gets a call from Pika, saying the cops pulled a blue van from the ocean. A body was inside, with front damage and no plates. It's the hit-and-run vehicle. Renner sends them a list of registered blue vans. Only one Japanese name stands out, Hayashi Imports. Pika suggests starting at Robichaux's fundraiser since the catering company is working there. That night, Pika sneaks them in dressed as waiters. He tells them Hayashi Imports is Yakuza-owned and suggests they split up. Johnny flirts with a beautiful woman on the balcony, while Pika sticks James in dish duty. A man approaches James, asking for a plate, and openly snorts cocaine. James pockets the man's access card, which reads Hayashi Imports. The woman tells Johnny she knew Walter. She's Monica Robichaux, Marcus's wife. She hired Walter to investigate her husband, believing he was cheating. They're divorcing, and she needs proof. James calls Johnny just as the cocaine guy, Nakamura, confronts him. James mentions the missing blue van. Nakamura immediately gets defensive and threatens him before walking away. Monica slips Johnny an address and leaves. Security grabs both brothers and drags them to Robichaux's private room. Robichaux mocks them but admits he hired Walter and claims he paid him in full. He's genuinely shocked to hear Walter is dead. Johnny accuses him outright. James questions his motives. Robichaux admits Walter was spying on Monica. Johnny casually plays with a grenade, leaving fingers on the table. Robichaux panics and kicks them out. The next morning, Johnny arrives at the address Monica gave him, only to find police everywhere. She's dead, fallen from a building. Enraged, Johnny storms Robichaux's mansion, beating his guards until he's tasered and arrested. Robichaux denies everything. Johnny sits in jail when Governor Mayo shows up, saying Hanani arranged his bail and Robichaux dropped the charges. Mayo warns him that he sees the same darkness in him and James that Walter had, but reminds him they still have each other. Outside, James confronts Johnny, saying violence won't bring their mother back. Johnny snaps and attacks him. Rain pours down as the brothers brutally fight. James eventually wins, leaving Johnny broken on the ground. Johnny accuses James of abandoning him. James finally admits he sent him away because the syndicate was going to kill him. Johnny breaks down, describing watching their mother die alone. James sits beside him, apologizing at last. Johnny admits he never found his mother's killer and can't let history repeat itself. They return home, only to get lectured by Isla when Johnny's phone rings. It's Valentina, says she only came to pick up the mail and hands Johnny a package. He immediately realizes this is what the Yakuza were hunting. She opens it and finds a flash drive inside. Johnny tells her she needs to come back to Hawaii with him. She refuses at first, but ends up going anyway. She's introduced to James and Pika. Johnny grabs the flash drive, hoping to smooth things over with her, but she walks off instead. James mocks him, and they hit the road. Inside the car, Pika accesses the drive, revealing it's a digitally encrypted wallet. Valentina explains they need a 12-digit passcode. James pulls out a bill from Walter's belongings. Pika enters the numbers, and it works. Johnny jokes about how hot Valentina is. James agrees, not realizing she can hear them. Suddenly, a helicopter opens fire on the road. Johnny shoots back, but it's useless. Valentina takes the wheel while the brothers focus on the guns. The chopper wreaks havoc, but she manages to maneuver past traffic. A bike joins the chase. She slams the brakes, spins the car, and the bikers crash. Johnny and James finish them off. They keep driving. Johnny grabs a rifle from one of the attackers and fires at the helicopter. Still nothing. Valentina suddenly kisses him. James calmly lines up a shot and nails the pilot. The chopper crashes behind them, and they barely make it into a tunnel before it explodes. They stop to catch their breath. James is furious because his wife's car is now destroyed too. Pika finally cracks the wallet. Valentina sees the truth. $12 million transferred. Every year to an account owned by Governor Mayo, they realize Robichaud has been paying Mayo to legalize gambling and using the Yakuza as protection. Meanwhile, Hanani confronts Mayo with the blueprints. He pretends nothing is wrong, promises to look into it, and takes the evidence. Back at James's house, he calls out for his family, but there's no answer. Furniture is smashed. Isla's phone is on the floor. He finds Kai and Lonnie hiding in the bathroom alive, but Isla is gone. Johnny receives a video message. Robichaud has captured both Isla and Hanani. He demands the flash drive. The brothers snap. They open James's weapon stash, load up, and head straight for Robichaud's mansion. Using suppressors, they silently eliminate guards, distract others with a car alarm, and blow them up. James shoots one through a window that doesn't break, until the man opens it himself. They dump the bodies in the pool. The power goes out. A guard checks the breaker, sees the cut wires, and the pool full of bodies before getting stabbed. Johnny answers Robichaud's call, saying he's coming. Inside the mansion, the fighting erupts. James tears through hallway after hallway. Johnny reaches the main chamber. They free the women, but refuse to leave. Isla tells James they need to end this. Johnny hunts Robichaud while James faces Nakamura. A brutal gunfight breaks out. Nakamura draws a sword. James counters with heavy fire and finishes him with his own blade. Robichaud hooks Johnny and nearly kills him. James arrives, but Johnny pulls the pin on a grenade. Robichaud shoots it. It explodes, throwing Johnny into the water. James dives in and saves him as the dock burns. The next morning, police arrest Governor Mayo. His manipulation fails, and everyone abandons him. Later, the family gathers on the beach. Johnny holds a memorial for his mother. Mr. K appears and reveals the truth. Robichaud worked with the Yakuza, but the syndicate wasn't responsible for her death. He hands Johnny the name of the real killer and leaves. Johnny shows James the paper. James tells him no matter what he chooses, he has his back. Johnny admits he always wanted a relationship with Walter. James believes Walter sent him the flash drive to bring him home. They return to the family and burn the paper together. You are watching the recap of the 2026 movie, The Wrecking Crew. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more movie recaps. Thanks for watching.